for giving this talk. I think that this topic, exercise in scientific facts and what are the myths that are prevailing in that. So, first myth in every conference of, at least of diabetes. This is a slide I took with Dr. Brij Mohan, I think, remember pre-COVID era at KDA. And this lady talked for 45 minutes. And the only thing she talked, when the exercise is so important in diabetes, why people do not follow it? And she told that any movement is better than none, appreciate the levers of sustainable behavior change. So really this is a wonderful question. If there is a amazing science of exercise, why do we fail to follow? And I will tell you why we fail. So let us first go to the science. Again, this gentleman, Mr. Phil Sutherland, he Team Novo one, he is the CEO, and he given very, very good input in type 1 diabetes and exercise, and you will be surprised to know that many of the things which we follow today came from his team itself. So many things are happening in exercise. My first question to my patient, which I deal with, if the molecular mechanisms get imprinted on your side, it acts as a motivational force to do regular exercise. क्योंकि हम रोज पेशेंट्स आते हैं, रोज पूछते हैं तुम एक्सरसाइज करते हो, even after repeated motivational interview and advice, only 30% of our regular diabetic patients follow the exercise on the regular basis. तो ऐसा क्यों होता है? तो पहला चीज है कि on the first interview, my point is, give some scientific facts to your patient. ये जब दिमाग में चला जाएगा, then he will follow your advice. So diabetes care physicians need to know this and translate it to patients in simple way to make them move on daily basis. So पहला चीज मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि the pathway created during exercise is a boon for anyone with type 2 diabetes, which is marked by insulin resistance. So when the body is at rest, it has one mechanism for the getting glucose out of the bloodstream, that is insulin. So what's so good about exercise is that even if the muscles are insulin resistant at rest, that becomes irrelevant with the exercise. And these days, this paper is in very much in focus, exercise and sports science reviews, exercise-induced mitophagy. There is a gradient difference in mitochondrial color. You can see from green, yellow to red that represents healthy, stressed and damaged or dysfunctional mitochondria. So the mitochondrial reticulum in the sedentary muscles exhibits energetic oxidative stress in some regions, but acute exercise once you do, it induces further mitochondrial stress and initiates the process of removing damaged dysfunctional regions of the reticulum through mitochondrial fission and the mitophagy. And this is really wonderful to know. If you see the A portion of a sedentary person mitochondria and you go see the exercise trend man, this becomes the difference in the mitochondrial medicine with exercise. So it is quite obvious here. Then this journey starts. Exercise starts its job by placing an energy demand on the skeletal muscles with utilization of the glucose and fatty acids, generation of ATP, and then the insulin. Both insulin and exercise increase the skeletal muscle glucose uptake by translocation of glucose transporter 4. It is well known. So a wonderful fact is, exercise has no effect on insulin receptor. It modulates the post-receptor insulin signaling. So this is really very wonderful. And this I take as a slogan, CMGU. So what is CMGU? This is the contraction-mediated uptake. So insulin is not required for glucose to enter into the cell when you exercise. So a form of non-insulin dependent glucose uptake, contraction-mediated uptake occurs. So essentially muscle contraction allows glucose to enter the cell. So this is the most wonderful fact about the exercise. I don't go in details of what is happening with the acute adaptation and the a very good paper from the diabetologia. But come here that there are key fuel metabolic genes. You can then go for all the genes. But what those genes are doing? They are increasing the insulin sensitivity, increase oxidative capacity, increase mitochondrial content. So mitochondrial function is known to control regulation of peripheral insulin sensitivity. So the main problem in diabetes type 2 that is being dealt by all these genes you can see here. Then if you see this slide, if you are doing exercise for the cardiovascular improvement, lots of things are happening. Vasodilatation, angiogenesis, cardiopulmonary oxygen delivery, mitochondrial biogenesis, anti-inflammatory effects. So lots of things are happening at the same time. And if you go for the NFLD, benefits of exercise are immense. You see here the acute exercise training uses like intrahepatic lipid content in metabolically compromised population. Aerobic exercise training does not directly affect the VLDL. So short-term aerobic exercise training increases polyunsaturated fatty acid content of intrahepatic lipids. So lots of things are happening. So exercise is ultimately going for the whole body level, increasing the aerobic capacity, increasing the insulin sensitivity, increasing the glucose control, increasing oxidative capacity and decreasing the lipids, leading to decrease in the type 2 diabetes and FLD and the mortality itself. And again, this research has been linked that you can, white adipose tissue, you can just change it only by exercise to the brown tissue, and you know what is the importance of the bright tissue. Then there is inter-organ cross-talk and substrate fluxes during the exercise, and many mechanisms are operating, and molecular factors are linked to contribute to the exercise health benefits, increase in the muscle mass, reduced, you can TG and improve the insulin sensitivity and glucose control. Now let us discuss, apart from this short science of exercise, what are the big grey zones in the field of exercise? Patients आपसे क्या पूछते हैं और आप क्या बताते हैं? The first thing बोलेंगे कि pollution है, air pollution है, क्या exercise करें कि ना करें? इसका answer is in this paper that the habitual exercise is associated with reduced risk of diabetes regardless of air pollution. This fact comes from a longitudinal cohort study. So I think this is important again. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि हम रेगुलर एक्सरसाइज नहीं कर पाते हैं, कभी-कभी करते हैं. So how is the difference between the regular and someone is doing an irregular exercise? So what is the difference? The current study suggests that performing the regular training when possible is very good. However, irregular training could also offer lesser benefits and should still be considered by time-poor individuals or those unable to perform training regularly. This also helps significant improvement in anthropometric and aerobic capacity and some blood lipids. This has been shown by the research. उसके बाद है कि इम्यूनिटी के बारे में आप रोज तरह-तरह की चीजें पेशेंट बोलते हैं, क्या खाएं, क्या पिएं, ये क्या हाल बना रखा है, कुछ लेते क्यों नहीं? उसका आंसर यहाँ है कि the moment you do one bout of exercise, it stimulates the interchange of innate immune system cells and components between the lymphoid tissues and the blood components. So lots of things are happening. So मैं उसको बोलता पेशेंट को बताइए कि how exercise augments the host immune defense is multifaceted, but a key mechanism is the frequent mobilization and redistribution of effector lymphocytes. So what is happening? Billions of lymphocytes are mobilized. अगर 1 घंटा भी आप पैदल चलते हो, 40 मिनट चलते हो, तो billions of lymphocytes are mobilized in response of a single bout of exercise. So it is when you are doing a dynamic and it taxes your cardiorespiratory system, running, cycling, like these things. So this is how this is going to improve your immunity. So this is the best immunity booster, nothing like that. And again, there is increasing evidence that the circulation surge in the cells of the innate immune system with each exercise, bout and the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects of exercise training It is going to modulate the tumorigenesis, atherosclerosis, and other disease process. So this is again a big advantage. Now the next question could be, ठीक है कुछ एक्सरसाइज करते हैं लेकिन कुछ फायदा नहीं दिख रहा है. Not all diabetic respond to metabolic effects of exercise. Why it happens? This happens only in 15 to 20%. It is critical to know today which one will respond and which one will not. For that we need a precision approach to the exercise because it is happening in the molecular level. But still you give the reward. Many other things are happening. Because the exciting research is showing that the muscle-specific microRNA play a role in the skeletal muscle response to exercise. So 15 to 30% may not respond, but still you should reward very well. फिर अब कितना एक्सरसाइज करें? ये बड़ा important question है कि करें कितना? So you see this marathon, how this started. When Greece sent the fastest runner Philadelphia to carry home news of the victory. What happens? He sprinted 26.2 miles from the battle site to the city state of Athens. वो पहुंचा वहां बोलता है rejoice we conquer and died. तो इतना मत करा दीजिए कि किसी को ऐसा हो जाए. तो इसके लिए तरीका है कि exercise is a medicine and the dose matters. So you should be very much well aware कि कितना बोले कि कितना exercise करो. इसका पूरा लंबा चौड़ा हिसाब किताब है from in all guidelines. This is from the medicine update which I from my own code, my topic, but this is from the ADA itself. कि कितना करना चाहिए, like what should be the duration, what should be the intensity and how frequent and what types of exercise. So this is the most vital thing to understand. So in next 2 minutes you see, I will just take for the resistant type of exercise at least 8 to 10 exercise. Completion of 1 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetition to near fatigue per set. कितना करना चाहिए? कितना करना चाहिए? Minimum of 2 non-consecutive days. माने 2 दिन अगर हफ्ते में 3 दिन भी कर देते हैं तो रेसिस्टेंस एक्सरसाइज करना बहुत जरूरी है. I will tell you because you today know that these days all the diabetic exercise recommendations say that aerobic exercise itself is not enough at all. You can go for the fit prescription, that is the frequency, intensity, time and type, but resistance is the most important thing which I want to say you, that this is the only exercise which promotes the skeletal muscles, hypertrophy and increases the strength linkage. These days you are not talking about sarcopenia. To tackle that, aerobic is good, resistance is good, and we need combination of both. Why we need? Because the resistance training is critical for all of us. And there are lots of things happening with the aerobic training, lots of things are happening with the resistance training, but few things are only happening with the resistance training. So apart from aerobic, this research itself says which one is needed, so you go for both. That is very important because the resistance training is more effective in improving the glucose transporter 4 number and function. So it is highly effective in slowing the sarcopenia. This never happens with the aerobics, remember. So both should be taken care of. And you see here what is happening. If you are doing only aerobic and resistance exercise acutely, they enhance 20% insulin sensitivity increases and HbA1c level drops by 0.4 to 0.5% if you are only doing one. But if you are combining both, what is happening? A 20% jump होकर 70% चला जा रहा है. Insulin sensitivity is increasing up to 70%, and जो 0.4 to 0.5% drop by the HbA1c, that is improving in greater tunes 0.9%. So this is very important. Then जिसके पास टाइम नहीं है, बोलते हैं मेरे 1 घंटा टाइम नहीं है. For young diabetics, you go for HIIT or sit. That the HIIT you must understand these days. This is very important. How we warm up, then a brisk walk in between, and again cool down. So this is a whole technique I am not able to cover now, but this is clearly shown the clinical benefits of the HIIT. So this is really become a HIIT. The high intensity interval only takes 5 to 10 minutes. The SIT protocol. And the glycemic effects of different training intensity, you can see HIIT is very, very effective in controlling the glucose, blood sugar. अब now the next problem is your sitting time. आजकल हम लोग जैसे दिखा रहे हैं 13 घंटा 12 घंटा 10 घंटा बैठे ही रहते हैं. and this has become a very, very big problem these days. So we can go for the interrupted sitting. बीच में लोगों ने बोला कि थोड़ा देर उठ जाइए फिर घूम लीजिए 3 मिनट. So the research for improvement of many metabolic parameters with the interrupted sitting is also there. You can do the daily movements, walking with the dog. This is also very important. But what is I am today going to tell you that a large number of studies have focused on brief breaks from the sitting inactive. But इससे वो फायदा नहीं हो पाता है जो हम चाहते हैं. I'm not going in detail, only 4 minutes are left. If you think that. So even if you do interrupted sitting, 3 minutes की walk कर लिया, फिर बैठ गए, फिर थोड़ा देर का walk कर लिया, it may be wished that brief breaks are by definition brief amount of contractile activity, and thus only brief periods to potentially benefit from oxidative metabolism. So the critical question is there something new thing like soleus push-up? Dr. Ghanshyam Goyal is here, and I'm really thankful to you, sir. At KDACON you gave me a break for pushing for the first time in India the critical appraisal of soleus push-up. I'm not going into detail, it takes only 1 hour topic is soleus push-up, but this is how the soleus push-up is being done. Sorry, is it going? Anyway, video is not working, so I think when you wait like this, if you are doing like this is not soleus push-up. Then the soleus muscle will not come in the picture. So just sit like that, and then you do like this. And you do for 30 minutes today. Now when you are sitting now, you will feel wonderful. I am give you guarantee it will feel wonderful. But what is the problem? This was by Dr. Hamilton who showed कि इसको करने से ब्लड शुगर घट जाता है और लिपिड प्रोफाइल इंप्रूव कर जाता है. But that was done in a physiological condition. We don't have at all a single paper today on the real diabetic patients. So this is you go for this eye science, very important topic today, a potent physiological method to magnify and sustain soleus oxidative metabolism, improves both glucose and lipid parameter. What is happening that जब हम बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सरसाइज आप करते हैं तो there is lactate is being produced and you will feel a stinking feeling. But being a type 1 fiber, this becomes oxidative, so सीधे ग्लूकोज को खींचता है. Not so this is a very, very important thing that was fast twitch my thing. So this was not a clinical trial, we don't have data today. I am just trying to do a pilot study like a field study starting in the next year, when to determine the impact of 60 minutes of soleus push-up intervention. After 12 weeks found the glycemic control, insulin resistance and lipid profile. When it comes, I will tell you, 2 minutes are there, I think. So now I post the next question, what is more important, intensity or duration? What is the answer? Current research clearly says that intensity is more important than duration. At low intensity for an extended period of time, fat becomes the primary fuel source. This is less effective in lowering the blood glucose. And intensity ranging from moderate to high implies more carbohydrate for fuel, therefore more effective in lowering the blood glucose. So this is the answer. Timing, morning or afternoon. Now the research showing the afternoon is also very good. Glucose tolerance, insulin sensitivity and muscle oxidative capacity, so circadian rhythm oscillations. So exercise after you eat is also important. Lots of papers are there. Yoga is very, very important. Must be. Yesterday at Gorakhpur we gave a talk on the yoga, and I said that the next hit will be the Surya Namaskar again, already a hit. But in diabetes, lots of papers are coming up and showing that if just by doing 5 to 10 minutes, you do 12 rounds, you combining aerobics, you are combining resistance, and you are also modulating your mind with the mantras. So this has become very important thing. Next. So yoga is very important. Today we have got so many RCTs and meta-analysis. So I will take only 1 or 2 minutes because this is important, I think. Now the sex exercise is also important. And lots of papers have just come up indicating a positive relationship between physical fitness and sexual health. I'm not going to detail, but you see here one paper which came last month, I think. A question like a case of erectile dysfunction with type 2 diabetes, you recommend that patients should start a program of aerobic exercise after reading a new study by Khera et al. And what do you expect from the intervention for erectile dysfunction? Improvement hogi, improvement in mild or moderate erectile dysfunction only, improvement that exceeds that associated with PDE5 inhibitors, or improvement regardless of exercise supervision. 4 is the answer, because exercise is as good as Viagra for erectile dysfunction. दीपक जुमानी लोग नहीं बताते हैं आपको वो अपना तेल बताते हैं खाली, बट आई डोंट थिंक ही इज नॉट हियर। तो मैं बोलता हूँ कि एक्सरसाइज सबसे बड़ा वायग्रा है, यू ट्राई इट। लास्ट आई डिफेंडिंग माय टॉक, दिस वाज द गाइडिंग क्वेश्चन कि हम लोग क्यों फेल कर जाते हैं, व्हाट इज द गैप। पेशेंट को बोलिए क्यों नहीं चलते हो, किसी बोलता है घर में इतना काम है, दिन भर चलते हैं, टाइम नहीं है, तो उत्तर मेरे रिलेशन के यहाँ जाना लो, सो मेनी थिंग्स दे आर सेइंग। उनको बोलिए कि तुम ऐसा है कि एक्सरसाइज इज लाइक योर करेंट अकाउंट, नॉट सेविंग अकाउंट। आज यूज करो, आज इसका पैसा यूज करो, अभी का भी फायदा लो, so they use like we are just shifting from the old exercise prescription to something new, on adding this as fit EE, that is move to optimize your vitality and enjoyment. So enjoyment होनी चाहिए, इस पर आप ध्यान दीजिए कि कैसे enjoyment। Last slide, run if you can, add 10 minutes for your health. New Japanese research is saying that running even 5 to 10 minutes per day at the slow speed is associated with markedly reduced risk of death from all causes and cardiovascular disease. So run if it is possible. I think no conclusion for my talk. Thank you very much. Thank you.
On the right side of the stage for the felicitations. Like our chairperson just said, he was doing a 2-miss exercise, and we just heard how important it is. So I think we should take a pledge to do regular exercise ourselves and then also advise our patients. Next we move on to a very important topic about a very important test which is being done, how to interpretation of HbA1c.